We continue now at the top of Daf Tesam and Beis in Meseches Nedarim. This is Nedarim Daf 29b. On the previous summit, the Gemara brought a brisa. The brisa had two cases. Brisa had a case where a person makes something into a shlomim, and then after 30 days it becomes an ola. And it had the reverse case where a person says something, an animal is an ola, and then after 30 days it becomes a shlomim. And so the Gemara says, why would the brisa have two seemingly identical cases? So if you're going to say that what the brisa is saying, not only by kedushas damim, but let's say, for example, the person made the animal holy, that the value of the animal will be for a carbon ola, or the value of the animal will be for a carbon shlomim. It wasn't actually an ola or shlamim. Not only over there does the kedusha leave automatically, and we say the animal goes from one kind of kedusha to another, from ola to shlamim or vice versa, but there's a second case in the brisa to say it's even true by kedusha saguf. Let's say you're going to say that the animal is actually one type of carbon and then transfers into another type of carbon, and that would seem to indicate, that would prove that even by kedusha saguf, the kedusha can leave by itself without having to be redeemed. And that's what the Gemara says, Hainu ditztrich le'letana lemisnatardi. That's why the Tana would have to teach you two cases to tell you that the halacha is true by kedushas damim and kedushas aguf. Because I might have thought that kedushas aguf, it doesn't leave automatically, but kedushas damim paka bichti. But kedushas damim, maybe that does leave automatically. Maybe there's a distinction. So amtulachi tana tarti. That's why the Tana has two. But if you're going to say idi v'idi kedushas damim, that both lines in the brisa are talking about kedushas damim, and that's all it's referring to. So lamali lemisnatarti. Why would you have to have two cases in the brisa? Hashta yesh lomar. Now you're already going to say mikedusha chamura lekedusha kala paka. Let's say it starts out as an ola, and then it goes to the kedusha of a shlamim. So if the ola, which is a stricter kind of kedusha, if that can leave automatically, and it turns into a kedusha kala, you wouldn't even need the second case. Mikedusha kala lekedusha chamura tzrich. Do you even need the case of going from a shlamim to an ola? You wouldn't need it. And so therefore, again, it must be the brisa saying that even kedushas aguf can be paka bichdi, can leave automatically. But the Gemara continues, Leimati have tiyufta de barpada. But let us say that this brisa then is actually a refutation of barpada, because barpada said that even when it comes to kedushas damim, it doesn't leave it bichdi. And now this brisa seems to be saying even kedushas aguf can be paka bichdi. So we should say it's a refutation of barpada. Diyamar lo paka kedusha bichdi, because he's the one that says that the kedusha never leaves on its own. So how is he going to interpret the brisa we brought on the previous Amud? And the Gemara answers, Amar Rapapa says, Amar lach barpada will respond to you, Hachi Kamer. This is what the brisa is actually saying in the seif of the brisa. It's saying, Im lo amar me'achshav shlamim. If the person didn't say from now it's a shlamim, let's say he simply said it's going to be an ola after 30 days, but it's not going to be a shlamim first and then an ola. So in that situation, if he didn't say me'achshav shlamim, so la'achar lamed yom ola havis. So after 30 days, it actually will be a carbon ola. In other words, the brisa in the seifa is simply saying that if a person says that this animal is going to be an ola after 30 days, the kedusha can take effect after 30 days, and the seif of the brisa has nothing to do with the idea that the kedusha is leaving on its own. The Rishonim say, well, what about the reisha of the brisa? The reisha of the brisa does seem to imply that the kedusha is leaving on its own, so some of the Rishonim say that the reisha of the brisa might be talking about kedushas damim, not kedushas aguf, and it might also be talking about where there is a process of redemption that is taking place in that case. That's how Bar Pada might answer the reisha of the brisa. In any case, Rav Papa over here explicitly is answering the seif of the brisa, and he's saying the seif of the brisa again simply means the person is saying after 30 days it should be in carbon ola. If in the first 30 days, if in those 30 days it's not a shlamim, he's simply saying after 30 days carbon ola, it will in fact become a carbon ola. And the Gemara says, Midi dahavi ha'omer leisha hiskat shili lachar lamed yom. It's similar to a case where a person says to a woman, he says, let's have a kedushin after 30 days. So the kedushin is only going to be chal after 30 days. The mekudeshes, that kedushin is effective. And even though the money is not around, the money that he used for the kedushin is no longer around after 30 days, the kedushin takes effect. So too over here, the animal becomes a carbon ola after 30 days. The Gemara says, Pshita, well, isn't that obvious? And isn't it obvious that a person can make an animal into a carbon ola after 30 days? Why should it have to have the kedusha immediately? And the Gemara says, Lo, no, tzrich, it's needed the hadarbe. The case is where within the 30 days he changed his mind. So that's already a chiddush, that after 30 days, it doesn't matter that he changed his mind, it's still going to be a carbon ola. But the Gemara continues, Hanichol Amanda Amar Eina Chozeres. This explanation of the Braisa, that it's talking about where you said it's going to be a Karban Ola after 30 days, and the Chiddush is even if he changes his mind, it's still a Karban Ola, that works well according to the Manda Amar, who says by Kiddushin, that if the woman changes her mind, let's say she accepts the Kiddushin and it's supposed to take effect after 30 days, but in the interim, in those 30 days, she changes her mind, so the fact that she changes her mind makes no difference, and the Kiddushin is still Chal, so then you could say the same thing by a Karban. El Amanda Amar Chozeres, but according to the one who says that she is able to retract within those 30 days, so what explanation are you going to give by this case of the Karban? And the Gemara answers, Afilu l'man damar hasam chozeres, even according to the one who says over there by Kiddushin that she can retract, hachashani, here by the Karban it's different, there's no retraction, because by Karbanos we have a principle, dami rasu legavo, when you pronounce something, that it goes legavo, that it goes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that it goes to the Mizbeach, kimisi rasu lehedyo, that has the same strength as when you actually physically give something to an actual person. And the Gemara continues, Yosef Reb Avin Reb Yitzchak Rebbe Kamid Reb Yirmiyah. Rabbi Avin and Rabbi Yitzchak Rebbe were sitting in front of Rabbi Yirmiyah. The Kamenam named Rabbi Yirmiyah, and Rabbi Yirmiyah was dozing off. So Yazvi v'Kamri, and they were sitting and they were saying as follows: Lebar Pada, according to Bar Pada, Diyamar Padan Chozros v'Kochos, because he says that if you redeem it, again, it's talking about a case where you said this item is going to be kadosh, it's going to have the kedusha until it gets cut down, until it is burned. So Bar Pada says that if you try to redeem the item, the kedusha renews itself. Every time you try to redeem it, the kedusha starts over again. It becomes kadosh again. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Amud Aleph.